Hey, this is Joe, Gray Bench Electronics. Welcome back to the pedal teardown series where I take apart new and interesting pedals and show you what's going on inside. Today we have the Moog MF Boost. All right, so here is the MF Boost by Moog. Moog obviously is famous for their synthesizers, one of the early pioneers of analog synths with the Mini Moog that came out, sort of revolutionized the sound of electronic music starting in the 60s, 70s. The Mini Moog, or the Minifrooger line of pedals here, didn't stick around very long. As far as I remember, they were around for just a few years and they've stopped production of them. And some of them have reached some serious prices, $500, $600 for the drive pedal that I've seen. This is the Boost pedal, which goes for a little bit less. It's just one I came across. But I wanted to look at the build, and that's what we do here. We do teardown. So let's have a look at how Moog was making pedals. Aesthetics-wise, looks pretty good, pretty muted aesthetics, nothing crazy. We have a cast aluminum shell here, and it has a slanted bottom edge here so that the placement of the foot is a little more natural, I guess you could say. Controls are pretty simple, gain, level, tone. We have a boost switch inside here, which is presumably going to maybe bring in an extra gain stage, something like that. It is marked as a boost pedal, so we'd expect it to not have a ton of distortion coming from the pedal itself. But a reasonable amount of amplitude or volume increase so you can push like an amplifier into clipping. As far as input and output jacks, we have input and output, obviously. Expression jack, which I'm not sure what it does in this pedal, presumably maybe just like volume or gain of some of the stages, so you maybe can push into clipping with expression. And our 9-volt DC input. The placard on the bottom here says MF Boost by Moog, Minifrooger analog effect. It is riveted on, which is a nice touch. Could have been screwed or just glued, with an adhesive on the back, but they went to the extent of riveting it. The placard here with the gain and level, that does appear to be a sticker that's placed into like an inset in the cast. On the back here, we have the Moog sticker, trademark and whatever copyright info, 9 volts, 8 milliamps of current draw, center negative, serial, Moog logo, built in Asheville, North Carolina, with North Carolina State outline or image there. So that appears to be the externals of the pedal. Let's go ahead and crack it open. All right, so here is the PCB assembly, or PCBs assembly, for the Moog MF Boost. So we have two main boards here. The lower board houses the switch, the potentiometers, and a couple of ICs and transistors down there, as well as a few surface mount components. And then a big old ribbon cable, like a 9 connector ribbon cable looks like, over here. So the secondary board, which has the battery terminal connections here, positive and negative, a big 470 microfarad cap here, it looks to be, power supply stuff, 8-pin surface mount component down there, quarter-inch jacks, of course. We got a couple transistors here, 1, 2, 3, 4 transistors floating around on the board there, another one there. The foot switch, interestingly enough, is not a 3-pole double throw, so it's not true bypass as far as switching for the foot switch goes. It's on its own little board. It is a 2-pole double throw. As far as brand, I don't see any brand marking on it. But it is a latching 2-pole double throw. So what that means is, because this pedal has an LED right there, they're using some sort of other switching scheme, maybe JFET switching, similar to the way Boss or Ibanez make their pedals. All right, as far as the ICs on the board, so there's one IC on the top board, or I'm going to call it the quarter-inch jack board, and there's two ICs here on the potentiometer board. The two here, so these two dip or dual inline packages. I can't tell what these are or what they do. They're marked GZ232. Didn't find anything on a Google search. They're made by STM. The larger, what is that? 16 pin package here. This is a LM13700, which is a transconductance amplifier. So that's most likely going to be in the audio path. The two 8-pin packages here, they might just be part of the switching circuit. Not sure about that. As far as the other components, everything's surface mount, obviously, with the exception of this one capacitor. And of course the potentiometers. These are the alpha potentiometers. For gain, we have a linear 25K. For volume is an audio 25K. And for tone is an audio 25K. On the board here, the switch is marked, in the up position, it's marked the Schmutzig boost. Don't know what that means. At the bottom, it's marked clean buffer. Okay, so now we know that when the switch is in the down position, it's not going to amplify your signal at all. It's just a buffer. When it's in the up position, it is going to give you some boost. So probably in the down position, the gain knob doesn't do anything. That'd be my guess. And of course, we have the foot switch here on this little 6-pin ribbon with a header connection. That way, it makes it easy to replace the foot switches because these are wear items, of course. And if foot switch goes bad, Moog can just send you a assembly here and you can just pop it in, pop it out, and you're good to go. You don't have to send the whole thing back. That's nice. Otherwise, looks like a pretty solid build. Soldering looks really good. Obviously, the surface mount stuff is wave soldered, but the quarter-inch jacks, so it looks to be hand soldered. It's very even. We got a little sticker here. It says Moog, some kind of part number, and it's marked 2013 October 7th. So that is the at least inspection date, you would assume. One of the ground screws here screws into the enclosure, and that's giving a ground connection to the PCB. So that's right there. The other screw, it holds the two boards together, and there's a little plastic standoff that you're screwing into there for that. Have a look at the enclosure, since it is a custom thing. Pretty nice. It's got some extra structural stuff here to make sure when you're stepping on this area, it doesn't collapse or crack. Cast it into the enclosure, you can actually see there are little extra nubs inserted, for lack of a better term, nubs inserted into the casting for the anti-rotation tab that is on a lot of potentiometers. These alpha pots, as far as I know, don't come with them, but oh, actually these ones do. Yeah, so there's little tabs on these potentiometers that will mate up to the matching insert or gap in the casting for the enclosure. So that's a nice touch. You can see here, this is the position where the battery would sit. So the battery would sit inside the enclosure like that, and then it would push up against these two battery terminals here on the board for connection. Of course, this would be negative like that. And then to hold it all down on the back door, there's a little piece of adhesive backed foam to kind of push down on the battery, keep it from rattling around. So all in all, pretty well thought out design from Moog here, as you would expect. So let's go ahead and put it back together. All right, that was a teardown on the Moog MF Boost. If you have any questions or recommendations for a pedal you want to see on a future teardown episode, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button and subscribing, and hit the notification bell if you want to know when I make a new video. I am Joe from Graybench Electronics. Thank you for watching.